Good. Right. Good evening. Today is March 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We are in the Brecksville Broadview Heights Board of Education, 6638 Mill Road, Brecksville, Ohio, 44141. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Public participation is governed by Board Bylaw 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. This meeting will be live streamed via YouTube and will also be recorded for later viewing. Following the regular meeting, the board will meet in executive session for the specific statutory purposes in the agenda under item 10A pursuant to Board Policy 0166, executive session, and Ohio Revised Code 121.22G. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel where all recordings are posted. Item 1B, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1C, roll call.
Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic?
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara?
Yes.
Mr. Dosen?
Yes. Item 2, President's announcements. The only announcement I have is congratulations once again to our girls gymnastics team who won state championship the 23rd consecutive year in a row, as well as our robotics team who won state championship for the 5th year in a row. We've had other major accomplishments in our district, which I'm sure we'll get to later and find an opportunity to bring them in and do what we really enjoy doing, which is recognizing the wonderful accomplishments of our student athletes. Okay, item 2B, notice of consent agenda. Do any board members wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
No.
Nope. Moving on to item 3. Board area of responsibilities. Co-curricular, extracurricular, Lisa and Tish.
Do you want to go? You can go first.
Okay, well, President Dosen's trying to steal all our thunder in reporting on our extra and co-curricular. So we have a lot. So I will try to go as quickly as I can, but give our students their due. Our student visionaries for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society that were Team Horizon, that were raising funds for that organization, broke our previous school record. They raised $150,000 as part of their campaign. They came in 3rd place in the Cleveland area, and they were behind Bay Village and I forget what the other district, Strongsville. So they came in 3rd, but overall the entire area raised just under $2 million. I mean, they beat out much larger geographic regions, New York, Northeast, than anywhere else. So the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is certainly impressed and happy. So kudos to them. Great job on that. Moving on to speech and debate. Our speech and debate team sent 9 qualifiers to the state tournament. And we may have more to report on that outcome next month. Last month, we talked about swimming. I'm going to move into athletics for a second. We talked about swimming last month. We had just learned at the meeting that for our diving team, Rachel Kieran placed 6th. And we had a 200 boys medley relay team competing, and they finished 23rd in the state. So congratulations to Landon Rosca, Ben Ackerman, Will Wendland, and Bryce Lennon on that accomplishment. Great job. Moving on to basketball, our girls basketball team won their division. They were back-to-back repeating division champs, and they finished up as regional runner-ups. Their coach, Joe Zenner, was named Coach of the Year by the Northeast Lakes District for Division II, and Ashley Perdian was our first team all-conference player. Boys basketball, they were division champs as well, and they went on to the Elite Eight. And finished up as regional runners up. Their coach, Steve Mahalik, was also named Coach of the Year for the Northeast Lakes Division II. The Player of the Year was our student Steven Skaljak, and then we had their all-conference team. First team all-conference team was Rocco Dean, Ben Mahendele, and Steven Skaljak. So congratulations to both girls and boys basketball. Moving on to wrestling. We had a school tying record of 12 wrestlers out of 14 weight classes qualify for the state championships. We had 6 district champs out of that went on to compete, and we ended up with 2 state champs in their weight class and 1 state runner-up. Our 113-pound state champ is Rylan Seacrest. At 165 pounds, Zach Aquila. Congratulations to both of them, and congratulations to Drew Morrow, who is the runner-up at 157 pounds. So,
And Rylan finished the year #1 in the country
yes,
for the 113 weight class.
that's right. Yeah, he is the #1 wrestler at that weight class in the United States. Pretty impressive. And then, of course, for the last reporting that I'll give around varsity athletics is girls gymnastics. As Mr. Dosen mentioned, our girls gymnastics team won their 23rd consecutive state championship. I don't know how many of you know, and I will say I'm a little emotional, of course, because I've had a gymnast for the last 4 years who will leave Rexville Broadview Heights, winning all 4 years of her high school, which is amazing. But gymnastics competes as both individuals and as a team. So they won their 23rd consecutive state team championship, and they're 26th overall. And then on individuals, we have the beam champion for the state this year. Abby Pignatello, who's a junior, took first. And then we have the fourth on uneven bars was junior Olivia Vasili. 5th on vault was senior Emily Gromek. 4th on floor and 6th on beam was senior Rachel Kieran, who also placed 6th as a diver for the state of Ohio. So kudos to all of our athletes. Just an amazing job here during the winter season.
Will
And
we
then-
have a parade?
They actually are slated to be at the State House later this month to receive awards. Yes. They will have a parade of champions up at the high school. So they will be part of that. And then lastly, our unified sports program, which is our integrated program for our special education and general education students. Our elementary school will be hosting a unified sports showcase at the end of this month, Friday, March 27th. And then our high school unified program will participate in a basketball. Oh, they did participate in a basketball event this month. Earlier in March, our middle school will travel to Medina Highland in May to compete at a unified sports track meet. So that's all I have. And then I will turn it over to
Yeah,
Lisa because
no,
we've
I
got
thought-
more.
Yeah, when Tish and I were like, there's so much to talk about, let's divide it up.
Yeah.
So that's like all the things our students are achieving and
Yeah.
doing it takes 2 people. It would take more than 2 people actually to really go into it, but okay, I'll go for athletics to start. The indoor track team, they sent 2 teams to the state track meet. The girls 4x800 relay and the boys 4x400 relay team. I think that might be all I have for sports. For robotics, we had at the middle school level, Team 2011Z and 2011S are Ohio State Middle School champions. That's 6 years in a row that Team 2011 has stood at the top of the winners podium. In addition, 2011Z, 2011W, and 2011S all qualified for the Middle School World Championships. At the high school level for robotics, 2011B won the Ohio State High School Robotics Championship for the 5th consecutive state title. And altogether, 6 high school teams qualified for World Championships, which will be in St. Louis. And if you want to support robotics, because they travel a lot and this is one of their fundraisers, you can buy car washes for Sergeant Clean right now. They have a fundraiser going through March 31st. So if you go to their website, you can purchase that and help our robotics kids get to places like the World Championships in St. Louis. For band and music, tickets are on sale now for the Thespian Troupe, and they're doing a production of Newsies. That's going to be March 25th through March 28th. So you can purchase tickets now. Our academic challenge team recently appeared on television. There was a note saying the episode was tape delayed, so I'm not sure if anyone knows if it actually aired or what the results were, but I was anxious to find out what happened with them, and I was trying to find info and I couldn't find it. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't have
Okay,
an update on that one.
Great, but that's exciting for them. It's always exciting, like to be on TV and to get to be in a television studio and do all those things. For art, for the Ohio Governor's Youth Art Exhibition, we had 4 BBH students who had artwork selected to advance to the state judging competition, and 3 pieces of artwork were named state winners, including the first top 25 winner at the high school since 2011. So the state winners were Alyssa Jones, Haley Mack, and Ben Mendeley. Am I saying? And then the students advancing the state level competitions, Elise DeFranco, she had 2 different pieces, Haley Mack and Ben Mendeley. And I think that was, I did want to say thank you to Craig for your Taxpayer Tuesday feature on social media. A lot of the recent ones have focused on how athletics are funded and how student activity accounts work. So thank you for posting that. And I know that's something like parents wonder about a lot, is like what different accounts are going on or how are different athletic events funded. So thank you for providing that information, because I think that clears up some questions that people would have about that.
And it's permanently on the website. If they have missed it already, they can
Right.
go
Oh.
and check it out.
Thank you. I think that was it.
Sorry for stealing that a little bit of thunder.
Okay.
We have so many good
So
things
few
going
neat
on here.
things,
So
yeah.
that felt great.
Oh, can I say one more thing about gymnastics? And
So
Tisha and I were talking about this. There's a book out about the gymnastics program now. I think it's called A Fraction of a Point.
Fraction of a
And
point,
it's-
by Nina Mandel.
Yes, I got it and I just started reading it. I would recommend anybody buy the book, support a local author. It's excellent. I'm learning so many things I didn't know about our gymnastics program, and it just highlights how exceptional the program is, how lucky we are to have the coaches that we have, and the way the Ganem family and the current coaches who've continued on their legacy, the approach they have to student athletes and supporting them as like young women, and to know that like mental health is important, athletics are important, but to basically support the whole child.
Mhm.
And it's really inspiring, and we're very, very lucky to have that in this community. So I would definitely recommend anybody read that book and learn more about our fabulous gymnastics program and our coaches.
And I know that Maria Schneider is, of course, the driving force, but
Mhm.
this is Joan Ganem's legacy. She's
And Ron.
phenomenal. And yes, she's been exceptional.
Okay, curriculum, Tish.
Okay. Do you want to talk? Well, I'll try and go fast. So there's always a lot happening in curriculum.
Just ask Dave.
Yes, yeah, there's always a lot. So I try to condense it down because it is a huge, heartbeat of the district, right?
Right.
It's our students learn what they're learning. But exciting news, our K-5 science teachers have come together and selected the Teachers Curriculum Institute, TCI, Bring Science Alive curriculum. It's heavily focused on inquiry phenomena, inquiry-based learning. I believe it was a month ago or a couple months ago, we had middle school science teachers present to us on inquiry-based learning and stumped all of us, but we had a good time as a board completing their learning activity. This curriculum will be on display, open for public review starting Friday, so March 20th through April 20th, and you can set up a time to come in and review it. This curriculum, it follows not only the Ohio Learning Standards, but it goes even deeper because in Brexville, we are always making sure that we're selecting things that can extend and provide as much rigorous in depth and learning as possible. But this also aligns with the national next generation science learning standards. So it's not just going to meet Ohio standards. It's going deeper than that, going down to the national level. So if you want to review that, set up a time with Dr. Martin, her secretary, and come in and review, bring science alive. And then AP World History, Ways of the World, that curriculum is up for review right now. You can come in and review that. It's available right now, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. And that is for AP World History again. Moving on to English Language Arts, our kindergarten through second grade ELA standards are changing, obviously to incorporate more science of learning. And we are perfectly poised for that. Our CKLA curriculum that we use meets all of the requirements for the standards that have been revised and are changing. The big thing that's coming out from all of this is the district is doing work to redo our report card. And is that just at the elementary? Only K2. So thank you, Dr. Martin. Our K-2 report card. They're redoing that so that it incorporates numerical values for parents. It's going to provide a much clearer picture of where your child is at in their learning of those standards. So you're going to get an actual numerical value that can be interpreted on that report card, and you will have a much clearer picture of where your child is at in their learning. The science of reading, we all know that that's part of legislation now, and all of our teachers, all of our certified teachers have been trained. The state is now requiring that teachers do a refresher through modules, and I think they have to update this every 5 years. And so now the task the district has to do is track all of that and kind of manage all of that. And so that's going to be a nice challenge for us to figure out where our teachers are in that cycle of updating, getting those modules done and making sure that they're staying on task with that. The National Assessment of Education Progress, NAEP, this assessment is random, and we tend to always have kids that get selected to take it. And we had 8th graders this year, about 50 of them, that were randomly selected. And we just get results by state, not by district. So we don't really get to know how our kids fared on this NAEP test. But they did sit and take this assessment. Moving on, we had this past month launched training for English Language Arts at the middle school, 6 to 8. They're having leadership training to train them on how to oversee the implementation of science of reading. Yes, Amplify. They have assigned a teacher on assignment to help with the implementation of this and going deeper, and that's Miss Dina Wilson. For any of you that have had Miss Wilson teach your students, she will be coming out of the classroom to help be the teacher on assignment and help with implementation of Amplify at the middle school. So congratulations to her. I'm sure that it will a lot of work cut out for her. And then on May 11th, that's May 11th. We have individual coaches coming in from Amplify for our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade to start all of that work. So I kind of backed that all around, but we've got a lot going on with ELA at the middle school. And then on Friday, since it is a kind of an instructional improvement day for the district, K to 5 will be diving deeper into Writing Revolution, and then our high school will be doing AI training. Middle school and high school will be doing AI training, and that's all I have for curriculum. As you can tell, it's always busy. Lots going on. Teachers learning, kids learning.
Could
all
I
the
ask
time.
a question about the grading, the new report card and what you're doing with it? I don't know architecturally what that looks like, but I know at one point when we were talking about it,
Yeah.
Knew you'd find a way.
they aligned with the standards, so that the standards were specified and then, explained through whatever numerical value or however you decided to explain. So
Yeah, I
What
didn't
did
put that in the updates.
I just wondered.
We tried to update the report card after you retired, and we did, but it wasn't aligned with the science of reading, and certainly wasn't aligned to our current curriculum, CKLA, which is a skills strand and a knowledge strand in K2, and they're very separate. And with the new K2 standards coming out, and they're very similar, but they have a heavy dose of phonological awareness, vocabulary on the Scarborough rope side, the language comprehension, word rec. And we just have to make sure that we're reporting on student learning that aligns with the science of reading, so that parents have a good read on that. And then the verticality, kinder to first to second, they understand where that child is.
And just for, the plans are from what it will be, the interpretive piece of that number that they get on the report card will be there. The parents will be able to understand what all of that.
Thinking something on the numericals here, you're absolutely right, Tish. Approaching proficient. So beginning 1, approaching 2, proficient 3. You'd get to 3 if you have a proficient mastery of the standards. And we're debating heavily on, is that with support or is that independently? So put a bunch of teachers in the room and we can talk a long time and debate a long time about, what does that look like in kindergarten? Is that child proficient independently with closed syllables or initial consonants? That's the thing. So we want to base this on assessments that are consistent, that are implemented the same way through the same time in every classroom, so there's no guesswork. And we're really, really systematic about it. A good question, though. I gotta leave now?
Yeah. We joked at dinner, we said, well, Dr. Martin's not on the agenda tonight. And we said, oh, he'll find a way to get onto the agenda.
Yeah.
So there's now video evidence that he was at the meeting.
But you made it.
Well, with curriculum being the heartbeat of the district, we're just so fortunate to have a doctor to oversee that area of our district. So thank you, Dr. Martin.
Wow. You'll be able to be balance on your bike on the way home. And
All right, Cuyahoga Valley Career Center, Rachel Malik, I reached out to her. She did not have any updates for us this month, so perhaps next month. Finance, myself.
Well, I will, it's in my update for this week, but I guess I'll let everyone know now. So we got reached out to by Moody's because they are waiting for our report because they keep districts rated, and I still can't give them that. So I had an inquiry to the state of Ohio, and there are 25 reports ahead of ours still. So we are still waiting.
Okay,
Wow.
So it's coming.
okay, so we're in pause mode.
Yes.
Legislative OSBA liaison, Brad.
Yeah, so a couple things coming up. One I mentioned at the last meeting, but the state legislative conference is next week. So there's still time to register if anybody's able to attend. That's on Tuesday in Columbus. The governor is actually going to, as of Monday, is going to be there for part of that. And then there's a morning session about school issues and legislation. The afternoon session is geared toward meeting with individual legislators. So I encourage you, if you're interested, to go. The next day here or in Northeast Ohio is OSBA's a regional conference in the evening from 5:30 to 8. So that's something else that you can put on your calendars if you're available that are coming up. Sort of at a high level, what's going on? I mean, OSBA is tracking a lot of things going on. There's currently, in their minds, 260 pieces of legislation that sort of somehow are touching schools. They've prioritized about 7 pieces that they think they're actually moving through committees or actually scheduled for hearings or have some traction. And those are on their website as well. Nothing necessarily that's going to happen right away. There are 6 sessions that are scheduled now, both on the House and Senate side through June. So I expect to see some things moving here in the spring. And I expect that at the next meeting, we'll have maybe something more of an action item that to reach out on something specific that might impact our district or something that we're interested in specifically. But a lot of that's on the OSB a website to follow along, and they do a pretty good job of tracking some of that and providing a lot of in-depth detail on some of the school issues. And I don't know, Craig, if you have anything you wanted to add with more specific legislation that's
I do not. There's a lot out there.
The extended time for recess?
Yeah, is that one of the 7 they're kind
no,
of flag?
I think at this point, that's not, there's sort of competing interest depending on different bills that are out there and have been talked about. Certainly that was talked about last week at a high level in the state of the state address, but it also sort of conflicts a little bit with some of the other PE waivers that are going on and trying to encourage PE waivers for club sports and other things. So there's this balance. It seems like it's a little bit.
They're going in every direction.
Yes, they're going
Plain
in a number
simple.
of different directions.
There's logistics issues and unintended consequences of some of that legislation that the sponsors, when interviewed, are not able to answer some. So it grabs attention. Not discounting that physical activity is good for students, but then in part of the same bill, you're gonna remove PE basically by allowing club sports participation to also opt out. I mean, if you think about it, Bressel Bellevue Heights High School has roughly 1,200 students or so, and we barely have enough demand for PE for half of a PE teacher. So we, as a state, we want to make it a priority to have the increase in recess time, K-8, but we don't want to make PE a priority within our schools. So it's, I know it's a lot of posturing right now, and I don't know if it'll gain momentum or not. It would create serious logistical issues for us. And all of the wonderful things we talk about being the heartbeat of the district, we don't have time for that. And then if we start taking out additional time for recess in a asphalt parking lot for grades 6, 7, and 8 in particular, creates quite a bit of logistical concerns that we have. So we'll see where it goes. I try not to get my blood pressure up too high on a lot of the legislation as it's introduced, because it'll go through many, many different meetings and committees and everything else. So I try to take a deep breath. Craig and I are in a support group for that, just to keep our blood pressure low until it actually hits the pavement.
He does better than I do.
At one of the interviews I saw with one of the legislators, she was suggesting you could just extend
Yeah.
the school day. That
Early,
you would-
stay late.
And I yelled a little in the house.
Because it was, that's easy to do. We'll just add 30 minutes beginning of the day and 30 minutes at the end. You know, we may or may not need
That's
adults to
what you need
supervise our
adults.
kids.
It'll be free.
So, right.
Let's
So,
talk about contract.
correct. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Deep breaths will be good.
Jeff, maybe you and Craig could find a doctor you might be
Yes.
able to talk to and just work things out. Yeah, maybe a heart doctor in the house. I don't,
No, he's not a cardiologist.
well, I didn't say cardiologist. They said a heart doctor. A heart doctor. Yeah, you could take that to a lot of places. Okay, anything else, Brad?
No.
Okay. Permanent improvement facilities, Brad and myself.
Yeah, I'll just point out the things that are on the agenda tonight. The middle school roof replacement project bid is out that we'll discuss a little bit later. And the tennis court repair bid also came back. And so that's both of those projects will be moving forward as we discuss later. We had a very comprehensive presentation at the last meeting. There's a lot of additional updated information on the website. I expect we'll have a few more projects like this come in over the next couple of meetings, probably as we gear up for some of the summer work that's going on.
Yep, very good. PSO, Lisa.
The elementary school PSO is looking for donations for the PBIS cart. They're suggesting candy or 3D printed fidgets. You can go on their website and find a wish list of things they're looking for. I think we've talked about this before, but the PBIS cart's a new kind of incentive this year for grades 3, 4, and 5. And as students do a great job, they earn little points or certificates, and then they trade them in for things in the cart. I know it's been a really big success, and PSO is supporting that by providing items for the cart and also volunteering to run the cart, which I know parents really like because it's fun. The kids like to pick out their items and trade in their points and save up, and it's very fun to watch them do that. The middle school PSO is hosting a book fair next week, and they need volunteers for that. That's March 23rd through 26th. And the middle school PSO is also hosting Dare to Dream, which is a Disney musical review that'll feature our middle school students. I think people know this, but at the high school level, we have like our staff runs the musicals and the plays, but at the middle school level, it's PSO who does that and supports it. So they handle all the costumes, they get the rights to the music, they hire a director, and they do all the logistics for that. So thank you to them, because that's a great opportunity for our kids to be able to experience, music and theater before they get to high school and have the opportunities at that level. At the high school for PSO, they delivered gifts and goals items to the staff, and they were really excited. I think people know this too, but gifts and goals is basically their fundraiser. So they fundraise money every year, and then teachers can basically apply for mini grants to say they need something or want something for their classroom. And there's a committee that reviews it, and then they dole out the items based on how much money they fundraise that year. So I don't have a list of the items, and usually I do, but I know that the staff were really excited about that. And then the next PSO meeting is April 9th. That's it.
I had a question. The middle school production, is that this year or is that,
Yeah,
what, did you say the dates?
I didn't say
I
the
can I
dates.
can look it up. I just want.
I think it might be in April. I
Okay.
that would have been a good thing to write down.
No, that's okay. That's okay. The
Thank you.
April 11th,
It's-
12th and 13th. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, safety, Lisa and Ava.
Unfortunately, neither Lisa nor I were able to attend the March 3rd meeting. And I do have Brian's email that outlined everything that happened in case he wasn't here. But apparently the three munchkins didn't require your help. So excellent. So
Go ahead and read it. It's,
is that easier for you? Okay. Safety security meeting went well on the 3rd of March. There was a lot of good dialogue regarding the emergency management plan full-scale drill this year. The high school and middle school will be performing a joint large-scale gymnasium evacuation to simulate an evening of athletic event emergencies, and the elementary school will be performing a reverse evacuation where students on the playground need to enter the building as fast as possible. Not related to the safety and security meeting, but worth mentioning, the middle school staff meeting on the 10th was centered around the safety and security officer Garcia, and 2 other members of the Broadview Heights Police Department discussed building safety, the ALICE program, Run, Fight, and Hide, and evacuation plans with the staff. A very good refresher since the weather was getting nicer. That was, of course, last week or 2 weeks ago now. So that pretty much covered what your notes said. Is there anything else?
there was a lot of good dialogue about the drills. So I left that out of it. But it'll be soon before spring break for us.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Schools Foundation, Tish.
Yeah, so the Schools Foundation had their big fundraiser on the 26th of February. It was sold out. Toast to Our Future. It was amazing. I think many of us attended. So it was a great night held at Michelangelo's. They raised $40,000. They sold over 120 tickets. And they are now looking at how do we continue to scale? How do we continue to take the momentum of having 2 really record-setting fundraising years, and how do we scale it up? So they are going to set a new goal to try and raise 50,000 next year. So kudos to them. And they are just turning the corner now, getting excited to use those dollars to present scholarships to our seniors on senior awards night. And then they will be working all of their processes for the teacher grants. So there will be information coming out in the months to come about teachers applying for the grants. And the only other thing, and I mentioned it last month, it is an amazing organization. They are still in need of 2 trustees. They would love to have someone with a finance background join join them. So if you have any interest, please reach out. You can reach out to me even, and I will get you in contact, but they have, their website, is bbhsf.org. Britt Wigman is their president, pretty easy to get a hold of, so.
Okay, sustainability, Brad and Ava.
It is with great pleasure to inform us all from Brian that we have been awarded the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District 2026 Waste Reduction, Recycling and Composting Equipment Grant that was submitted by Brian for $15,000, which is a reimbursable amount. And he had attached an application so that we could all see again all the hard work that went in from all of the school buildings. And Amy and Brian worked to meet with Karen Miller virtually, who is our grant coordinator, to review our next steps and what accounting requirements are needed prior to purchasing equipment. During our committee meetings, we had discussed the green teams present at the April 15th board meeting. And I know that Kathy Roderick is going to be able to put together something with her students, as will Nick Palumbo, sorry. But I know that Morgan says that she could probably put together, some informative kind of presentation, but nothing yet that would include the students. Because I think it just would it's the herding cat syndrome, so it takes a little bit longer for the elementaries to get on board. That's it.
Okay, transportation myself, all quiet on the transportation front, nothing to report. Board Policy Committee, so just as an FYI, everything we've gone through to this point were considered board areas of responsibility, which are, it's more of an informal areas of responsibility that each board member we divvy it up. The Board Policy Committee is an actual committee, which means that the meetings are noticed and minutes are published. So that's kind of a separate structure. So it's a Board Policy Committee. So Brad and Ava.
Now I have an announcement on that.
Sure.
That's for Brad and Ava in particular. Sherry will probably be reaching out tomorrow to find a date to have our next board policy committee meeting. We have our update from Neola. Pat Corbett and I have been in contact, so we're ready to get that rolling. So here over the next couple of weeks, we will find a time to get together, go over those updates. Pat will be in attendance, probably virtually, to ask any questions on any of the updates or get some more information. But you will hear from us by the end of the week to set that date, and then we'll get it noticed out and do all the things we need to do to have that policy meeting.
Okay. Item 4, superintendent's communications. I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Dr. Martin took all my time tonight, so I'm gonna we can move right on. The only thing I will say is kindergarten registration is going great. We're up over 240. We're quickly approaching the cutoff for full day. So anybody out there that's registering their kindergartner for full day kindergarten, not only get registered, but pay your deposit, because the past 2 years, we haven't hit that maximum number, and we're getting close right now. So just if people are thinking about it, get it out there. Years past, they had some time to make a determination if they're on half day or full day. This year, you better get the deposit in so you get secure that spot.
Is there a certain number that's the cutoff?
210 for full day.
Okay, but we're 240, but that includes half day.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're right now at 208 for full day.
Oh.
So
Now, but in that 208, there's some people who haven't paid a deposit. They said they want a full day. They haven't paid the deposit yet. So my point being is, if anybody's tuned into the board meeting and you've signed up for full day kindergarten and have not paid your deposit, you might want to get that done pretty soon, because there's 4 people right now that are undecided.
Oh.
So if those 4 people jump in to full day and pay their deposit, some people who were thinking they were gonna have full day might not have it. So, like I said, the years past, 2 years prior, we were like at the low 200s for full day. So we had a little bit of wiggle room. This year, I don't think we're gonna have the wiggle room on the full day. So. But that 208 number that I mentioned includes the people who haven't paid the deposit yet, but they said they wanted full day.
Oh.
But
And just to for transparency's sake, when
Mhm.
everyone registers and we do this, it's very clear in
Super
our
clear.
communication. It's
Super.
very clear that to
They even
secure
get
your
they
spot.
get reminders as well.
Okay.
So they get emailed
And-
regularly if they've not paid and had turned in all their paperwork as well.
Yes, and
So the board hears that they are
Yeah.
reminded,
yep.
right? And
But even going one step further and even though the receipt from paying your deposit, if you paid a deposit for full day, you pay the deposit, you're in. And you have a receipt that proves you paid your deposit. We're even going a step further. We're going to send those people yet another email saying, this is just to confirm you are registered for full day. So that nobody's worried about that. But it's getting a little bit tighter this year than the past two. So just as a reminder, trying to put it out there. Leslie Lobby here in the board office takes care of that, and she will answer any questions people may have. But other than that, President Dosen, I'm done. Dr. Martin took my time tonight.
Okay, all right.
he was getting
Item
ready to-
5, treasurer's communication. Craig.
Okay. Kind of not a super, let's think of, hold on, let's go to full screen. There we go, but it then goes to there. Okay. This is just the monthly report through the end of February that you will see on here. And then cash balance, I'm trying to make sure I can see both of these. 19.2 million is where we started the year. 13.3 is where we were at the end of February. Projected, we would end at 19.2, roughly the exact same, but as of the end of February, we were at 84 days of cash. Part of that again was due to those tax receipts, sorry, real estate receipts that came in, which we finally just got. So we'll look at the revenue performance for February. So year over year, they came in $2.6 million for the current fiscal year compared to $6.7 million in the prior year. So that's $4.1 million we received less this year than we did last year. And that was based on the real estate receipts that we brought in. So that was like not the good news. That's why we were kind of strapped at first. However, we did just recently get our March settlement, which everything looks okay, because then they sent us $22.5 million a week ago. So we are, once I plugged those numbers in, we were actually right on track in terms of collections for real estate. Actually, just a smidge higher than what we had downsized to at the last forecast last month. State funds, we are also a little bit higher than what we have been year over year. That has been continuing from the new formula based on the performance. We get the performance incentive, monetary incentive. So that's a little bit why the state funds are driven a little higher than they were last year, which is expected. And then all of the revenue is trending a little bit below the prior year in February, but nothing to be alarmed about. We're getting lots of deposits in for kindergarten currently. So we'll look at this is just kind of a summary of where we are as of the end of February. Again, keep that in mind. So this just gives you by line item on the revenue side of how much we've received to date of what we've expected. So it all looks good overall. You look at the expenditure side of things. We, in February, there were 4.492 million compared to 4.351 million in the prior year. This is an increase of only $141,000, which is good. Salaries and benefits were marginally higher than the prior year, but within the normal operating range, not a cause for concern. Obviously, we've had increases to the base salaries. So you can see that we have a slightly favorable variance there, which is good on the expenditure side, but it's still minimal. And then here are the expenditure categories that we have. And where we are trending. We're a little bit higher than the 66% that we would expect right now, but part of that's because we just came off of a 3-pay month in January, our last 3-pay month. So that was why that is a little higher. Retirement and benefits, all the ones that are under 66% means that we're doing and trending according to what we would expect. And then you see the total expenditures at 65.95%. So we are really, in terms of total expenditures, right on with where we would expect it to be in terms of total expenditures. So again, we had we're going to see there was not as much interest earned in February due to the low cash balances. We'll hopefully rebound a lot here in March. Pretty much the minute that $22 million hit, I moved it over into that day, I moved it over to the interest bearing account so that we can start collecting interest on the bulk of those funds. But everything else, again, looks pretty good. And then these are that went crazy. Okay, we're not gonna do that anymore. This is the old version of what we have. So if you do look down here, right now as projections, we would basically be essentially breaking even. Oops, let me scroll down for a second and go over. It shows a $29,000 positive at the moment. In terms of how we would end the fiscal year, the forecast says 140. That could easily swing at this point, but at least those are the projections we have right now. Any questions?
I do. So with this month, you're showing an 84-day cash. But you project that it will go back up.
Correct. Yeah,
That it'll be restored with this month.
yes. We actually
Okay.
quickly go to 185 days in March,
Okay, okay.
essentially.
Because what's like the red alarm?
90 days.
Okay, like that's why I was like 84.
Yeah.
That's not good. Okay, so I just,
It really,
make
and it
sure
should
that-
not have gone below 90 if we would have gotten the real estate on time.
okay.
It's just
Yeah.
that, that just did not work out for us,
Didn't
apparently.
hit when we needed it to.
Correct.
Right.
So we finished the year at about 121 days.
Okay,
So we're still good.
okay. Just making sure.
Keeping tabs.
Yep.
Any other questions? I got the cash position and annual spending plan also attached for your viewing pleasures.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, item 6, community communications, hearing of the public. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to be heard? No, no one's here, so we'll move on to item 7, consent agenda. 7A, resolve to approve certified personnel recommendations. 7B, resolve to approve classified personnel recommendations. 7C, resolve to approve supplemental personnel recommendations. 7D, resolve to approve the check register and bank reconciliation as attached. Item 7E, resolve to accept donations as presented. 7F, resolve to approve the minutes from the February 25th, 2026 regular board meeting as attached. 7G, resolve to approve consent items 7A through 7F. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna invite Cassie up because she's gonna introduce a guest that we have here this evening, because it's that time of the year and hiring season where we get to bring some new bees into the hive, and Cassie has pulled the short straw tonight for the introduction.
Not the short straw.
Right.
Yes, not at all. It's exciting. So I have the honor to introduce Janine. So Janine is coming to us from St. Raphael. Yes, in the Bay Village area. So she has both general education and special education experience, has spent a lot of time in more of that kindergarten area, and is very excited to go into the preschool in area with us, and wanting to even spend some more time into special ed. So very excited to welcome her to our team and towards that half-day position starting for next year. So welcome, and we haven't scared her away yet, so.
Still early.
Yes, no. Yeah.
Then our second new hire wasn't able to join us tonight, and that's Jonathan, as you can see here on the spreadsheet, and that's our new orchestra band teacher that will be at the middle school. Jonathan is a familiar face because Jonathan did his student teaching here at Brexville Broadview Heights, and we still have students who still speak of Jonathan and know him from the experience, and it was outstanding. He had all intentions to be here this evening, but he is playing professionally and had a dress rehearsal tonight, so he had to go to that instead. So I just want to welcome both of our newbies. This is a destination district. In both instances, our candidate pool in Brexville is much deeper than many other places. We're seeing that over and over again. I know they're doing school counselor interviews right now for the primary building, and we had 42 applicants for that. For the band and orchestra one, we had multiple, upwards of 60. So yes, there is a shortage of qualified candidates out there, but fortunately, because of the support our district gives us, our communities give us, and the wonderful students we have here, we are still able to find high quality caliber candidates, which is a blessing for sure. We have a couple others on here. We have some resignations, individuals not returning from leave, nothing out of the ordinary, but just officially resigning, and a few unpaid leaves on here as well on the certified side. On the classified side, we are hiring a bus driver, so we all know what that means, right? we hire a bus driver, so that must mean one of our bus drivers is retiring. I say that lovingly because our bus drivers are awesome, and those that are eligible to retire will usually hang on until we can replace them. But the good news is we're hiring one tonight, and we have two more in the queue that are getting close to being licensed and certified. So Fonzie and Jan and the bus drivers over at the garage are doing a great job on helping find some great candidates. Educational assistant custodian too. We have a resignation here as well. It was someone we hired at the last board meeting and the position just didn't work out. So she is not returning and we are on the hunt again to make that hire as the building secretary at the elementary building. And then a few unpaid leaves. On the supplemental side, we're going to see here kind of finishing up our spring coaches and those that will be working with many of our athletes here in the spring with baseball, softball, lacrosse, tennis, and girls track. On here, we do have a couple of volunteers. So just a shout out to those volunteers that donate their time to work with our young men and women. We really appreciate that. And you'll also notice many of our coaches will split their contracts so that there's more adult supervision. As you can see, they're splitting them 50-50. So just a big thank you to these individuals who go above and beyond to help us out.
Check register and bank reconciliation. I know I haven't read it in a while. Any takers?
That's it.
I knew it. I knew we were going to be friends.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of donations that are here. Cash donation to the boys basketball team for 5,000, some Beopoly games to the Wall of Freedom and Sacrifice Project at the middle school, and a cash donation to the lacrosse team. So we thank the generosity of our community for those donations. And then the minutes are there attached. Any other questions?
Sorry, it looked like there were 70 Beopoly games. Or is the idea then we're gonna sell them or pass them out?
I'm
or
not really sure what
Okay,
Todd's going to
alright.
do with them.
I think they're selling them, they're for sale, and the proceeds from that will help fund their project that they're doing for the Wall of Freedom at the middle school. Which, if you're not familiar, there's a project that has been student-led, student fundraised, and some staff members of middle school in the auditorium lobby. They're dedicating kind of a new space to the Wall of Freedom and recognizing those that have served. So it's gonna be really nice.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Janine,
Congratulations.
welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
And I'll say it, you don't feel bad if you slide out the door, so.
Yeah.
Or you can stay for the whole meeting, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You
You bet. Welcome aboard. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, once we get through the check register, there's not.
Yeah, right.
That's not.
There's nothing really
Kind of
exciting about
anti-
that.
It's anticlimactic, so
Mhm.
we'll move on with the humdrum rest of the agenda. Item 8, superintendent recommendations. 8A, resolve to adopt the revisions to policy 8650, transportation by alternative vehicles as presented, effective immediately. This action is taken under the emergency provision of policy 0131, as the board finds that current fleet limitations regarding rental vehicles constitute a set of circumstances that jeopardizes the welfare of students by restricting safe district supervised transportation for scheduled education and co-curricular activities. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Now that sounded really, really serious, but let me assure you that this is a policy change that we are enacting the emergency clause to be able to do it at the meeting and approve it at the meeting. Essentially, what is happening here is I'm not okay. Some school districts around us will allow parents just to transport their kids to an event, even in places like Myrtle Beach. And I don't think as a school district who sponsors a varsity program and is going to take their team south, that that's a good idea. But through this and working on our policies and procedures, there is Ohio Revised Code that says that you cannot take a district-owned vehicle more than 1,000 miles past the state line. Well, the Myrtle Beach trip is 1,029 miles. And they even will, if you really read the details, as Rachel and I have begun to dig into, they even count the mileage that while you're there driving as well.
Oh, wow.
So in that, we want to be able to rent, and we have rented in the past, our district. Okay, like when the robotics team went to Worlds, they flew, they rented vans, transported. Well, as we are trying to do and making sure we're doing everything by the book, working with an insurance company, we need to have policy that allows us to do that. And that's what we're doing here. It's all on the up and up, but we had to pull the emergency clause in this one because typically with a policy change, you read 1 month, you approve the next month. We need to do this because this is for the spring break trip here in 2 weeks. So renting 2 vans to transport our baseball team to Myrtle Beach to the Cal Ripken experience. So I know that paragraph made it sound all very serious. It is very serious because if we didn't pass this policy, then we would look to charter, which would be thousands upon thousands of dollars, fly thousands of dollars, or put kids in cars with parents and the such. And I just don't think that's best. So this is why this policy is coming up. And I tried to communicate ahead of time to the board as to why we were doing this. So that's what this one is all about.
Any
We
comments?
don't have to do a lot of the safety things. All the people will be driving it will be sponsored by the district, meaning they were approved by us. They did the van certification, as it's known, that many of our coaches have done. So it's not that we're just renting vans and letting anybody drive. They have to be approved drivers.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item
Oopsies.
Item 8B. District calendar drafts.
Oh, they're not voting on this, right?
Nope.
No.
Nope. So this one here is, it's a little bit more exciting this year than years past because of the new law that kindergarten registration cutoff date is the first day of instruction. So with the approval of these 2 calendars for 27, 28, 28, 29, which we will approve at the April meeting officially, has the first day of instruction. Now, I can't see that far across the room, but you will see it's that typical 3rd week of August, the Wednesday, so 18. So for those registering for kindergarten for the 27-28 school year, you need to be 5 on or before the 18th of August. When you look at these calendars, these were calendars that were a little easier, just the way that the holidays fall. Some people might say, boy, August 13th is early. Teachers are coming back on that Friday. We have the same amount of teacher work days and instructional days that we have every year. And if you notice, our students will actually be out before or on actually June 1st. That Thursday, teachers will be done on June 2nd. Yes, the school years do or are starting earlier than they did for some of us that are a little bit older. Everybody would like to start after Labor Day and be done before Memorial Day. It is not possible. That is not enough instructional time. And on top of it, our professionals, our teachers work 186 days. We usually have instructionally 176, 177, right in there. The 28-29 school calendar has an extra day, and we added it the Friday of President's Day weekend will be a non-instructional day, non-staff day. But again, the way that the numbers fell and where we started and everything, we had 1 extra day. So we made that a long weekend in February when everybody could use that long weekend in February. So spring breaks are on here, all of our holiday breaks, and most importantly, the start dates. So this is out for public review. And then next board meeting, we would officially approve it. I set these calendars and then share them with the administrative team as well as the unions for them to put their eyes on, kind of give their blessing as well, make sure I didn't miss something. The 28-29 seems even earlier because I think it's the 11th or whatever that they're coming back. But that's still that traditional like 3rd week of August when the kids are starting. And usually that 3rd week of August is also the first football game, which, you know, things are going on. When we flip the calendar to August 1, all the fall sports are running. The kids are on campus. So I know it's earlier than some may like, but unless you want to go to the middle of June, it has to start then. All right.
Okay,
Can I ask what might be a
Yeah.
silly question? Now
Oh.
that our kindergarten date has to move around, like what happens if somebody is right on the border?
Yeah.
Is that the thing where I mean, if they're like a day or 2 away,
Yeah.
1 year, okay.
It will happen. It happens. Moving it around like this from year to year just makes it that much more of an emotional conversation when we have to have it. But if it's a day they don't qualify. Now, they can request to test and
Okay.
test in, but the issue there is, I think, well, we're testing them on their skills to be ready for kindergarten. No, it's an acceleration test, meaning you have to be gifted to the point that you'd be accelerated. It's not just are they ready for kindergarten? It's not a readiness test. Am I communicating that correctly, friends down there? But yeah, some people say, well, yeah, my kid's ready for kindergarten. Let's test them. Well, are they really ready for first grade is the test that they're going to take. So very seldom do we have students that then qualify. And I know that's a hardship. I totally get it. And the state did us no favors here because we made that shift to August 1st last year. And then it was always gonna be August 1st. So everybody could plan. You could plan for years. Now it could change. There's times that we will approve these two calendars, but because of something going on in the world or different schedules, these could be adjusted too. So I feel bad if you have an August birth date and it falls right around the
Middle of the
13th to 18th, middle of the month. So
Do you know, is there any pushback on the legislature for this later?
there is.
Because it's chaotic.
It is. And each,
You know.
like Royalton could be a different date. Revere could be a different date, Independence. So, yes, there is some pushback and we'll see if they make any adjustments to it, but they haven't had much talk about it yet. I wish they would just say it's August 1st. It used to be August 1st or September 30th. And everybody pushed to August 1st, except for Brecksville Broadview Heights at the time, because we just needed kids to be a little bit more ready because the standards for kindergarten have increased. So let's just call it August 1st for everybody. And they want to make it more clear. In their effort to make it more clear, it's not clear at all.
Well, with it floating, like you said, for some parents, they could say, oh, my kid's going to qualify. So their daycare and their planning of work and everything else is contingent on, okay, you're going to start. And then, if we end up having to change the calendar, then that's a year impact of their lives.
As some parents would tell me, that's a $20,000 hit to them.
Sure.
With
Absolutely.
daycare. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. I
Okay.
don't take that lightly when we talk about that. And there are some parents who are probably excited about this change because those ones that have the birthday of August 2nd through the 15th or 16th, because they weren't going to be able to start this year and now they can. So we are making a few people happy with this one this year.
Right. Okay. All right, move on to, I'm sorry, any other comments or questions? 8C, resolve to approve the high school gymnastics team trip proposal as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We're going to see here a couple trip proposals. Some of them are ahead of the trip, some are after. It's probably a whole superstition thing too. But our gymnastics team obviously went to the state tournament and obviously did very well. A lot of kudos to the coaching staff because, when you're going to compete, there's always a lot of pressure and a lot of things going on, but then you have to do all this planning behind the scenes to make it a good experience. And all these coaches and advisors try to do the best they can with that. And Rachel and myself and the athletic department try to help them as much as possible. So it's not as heavy of a lift.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0.
Guess that makes our state championship legit now.
There you go.
They're approved to go.
8D, resolve to approve the middle school robotics team trip proposal as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
This is the first of two. They're going to the same place, just different days. They're going to St. Louis this year for the Worlds, and they're going via charter bus.
Comments or questions?
This may be a silly comment, but I don't know if Mr. Koach is the one that fills these out.
Mhm.
But I just want to say as a board member that they are so informative and I really appreciate the amount of attention to detail that whoever is completing the robotics proposals gives them because it's just incredibly informative. And as a board member, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it is Mr. Koach, and
Okay.
I will make sure I pass that along to him because for some, this is like pulling teeth to have to do this, but that's okay. But he does do a nice job.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8E. Resolve to approve the high school robotics team trip proposal as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
same trip, same place, just a day or two earlier. The high school robotics team will be coming back immediately following their competition ending on Friday night because Saturday is prom. So
Comments or questions?
it's that season already.
Oh, my
Yep.
gosh.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8F, resolve to approve the high school baseball team trip proposal as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
As you can see here, even Rachel gets a shout out on this form. It says Rachel from Board of Ed will set up for transportation. So very detailed on this one as well.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. 8G, item 8G, resolve to approve the Ashland University Student Teaching and Internship Agreement as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
These are important. I mean, we host student teachers and we want to continue to build the profession, but many times this is semester long or even year long interviews for some of these young people. And, you know, we have some hiring going on at the primary school and some former student teachers of ours will be right in line, hopefully, to fill some of those spots. So it's helping build that candidate pool.
Comments or questions?
I just had a question about when I was reading through it, they provide, I forget the name, but they provide, like credits to is it to the teachers that are taking our students? So that our teachers actually get continuing education from Ashland for.
Yeah, each
Maybe
college
the stu-
university does it a little bit different.
Okay.
Some pay us like a stipend. I
Okay.
think Kent State or somebody's like $250, which
Sure.
is nothing for the amount of time they put in. But then also others will provide some graduate credit, you know, professional development opportunities too.
And that helps with their licensing. So I think
Yep.
it was nice to read that. So.
Yeah, because this is something that our staff does not have to do, and it's a lot of work. It's easy work if you get a good one, and then it's a lot of work if you have somebody that needs a lot of development.
Yes.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8H, resolve to approve the proposal for Beekeeper's School Age Child Care Program as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
There's our little program that just keeps chugging along and does a great job for our community and our kids. They're just changing some of their processes, procedures for drop-in and tuition and payment and all that leading into the summer. Lorna and her team do a great job.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9, treasurer recommendations. Item 9A, resolve to approve the tax resolution as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So this is also going to be talked about in our newsletter. It's also on our podcast. There's a kind of brief description there as well. We set these rates every year. Our continuing levies, again, do not collect additional money as the valuations change. However, our bond levy to build the elementary school was passed at the 2.2 mils. And it was reduced to 2.1 when they do the calculations for what the new assessed valuation is. We are now going to be dropping it to 1.7 mils, which will be a decrease for taxpayers of 0.4 mils from what they are currently paying. This would be for tax year 2027. So it would be collections of 26. So that'll be noticeable in the spring, or sorry, yeah, well, the spring collection, what they call it, for 2027. The part that we also talk about, unfortunately, is that while the district may be decreasing the millage, which should be a decrease of tax bills, there may be other entities that are changing based on the type of levies or other millage that taxpayers are paying. So we sometimes get the blame because we are the largest portion of people's tax bills, but the district should see, our residents, taxpayers should see a decrease of 0.4 from the school district starting next calendar year.
So when you say a decrease of 0.4, it's a decrease in millage, but the dollar amount stays constant, correct?
The millage part goes down. So we,
Right.
like, what happens when these valuations change is that right now we have like a surplus in our fund. And so
Okay.
the dollar amounts are actually going to go downwards a little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
Yes. So that it brings us more in line with what we're collecting too much.
Right, so the bond fund is overfunded basically based on the duration of the bond. And so now it needs to be throttled back a bit. So because it collected a little more aggressively than needed up till now, and that's a regular review process to see, are we on target? Does it need to increase a little or back down a little?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, at any point, if this would flip the opposite way, I mean, it doesn't mean that at 1.7 in 5 years, it may have to go to 1.8 or 1.9. It all depends on how the rates are calculated. The valuation is playing the same role with how they determine how much will be collected. So it could go back up at some point.
Right.
But if valuations continue to increase, it could also continue to go downward too.
Right, which is different than an operating levy, where an operating levy, it generates a certain dollar amount that remains consistent. So over time, when people's home valuations go up, the millage comes down, but the dollar amount stays constant what you're paying, because, you know, I think our last one was 5.99, right? And so if that generates $6 million, it always generates $6 million. So, okay.
Yep. So again, that'll be in the newsletter to talk about this that's coming out. Actually, I don't know if it may be mailed yet. I think it went to print. I think.
Yeah, it's to print. It should be hitting the mailboxes any day.
Yeah.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9B, resolve to approve the disposal of equipment as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
These are just some excess things the technology department has found.
Okay.
Needs to be
Comment.
cleaned out.
Yes.
Just mysteriously find them.
Yes.
Well, some of this stuff was really from these devices were obviously from COVID. So
Right.
things that are no longer needed.
No longer needed, and there's no
Urgent.
market to,
You know, they're like
Sell them or-
that are, yeah,
you know, or donate them.
they are going to go on. They will be potentially on public surplus. They could be auctioned. So someone
Oh,
will buy
okay.
them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so by approving this, then we can find if there's some market
Yeah.
value for them.
And if not,
Okay.
then we toss them afterwards.
Right, okay. Other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9C. Resolve to accept the lowest bid for the bid tabulation and bid evaluation as attached. This is for the 2026 middle school roof replacement project bid. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? We do have a couple of, I can bring up the bid tabulation.
Yeah, why don't you bring up the bid tabulation? That'd be great.
So we did have a lot of, we've continued to have a lot of vendors that have bid. So this is what, 3, 6, 7 bids that came in. So you can see the difference of, let me zoom that in a little bit closer. Actually, let me do this.
Full screen, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe. Why didn't that do that?
This tape delay usually takes.
There we go. Oopsies, I'm on the wrong computer. That's why. So we had professional roofing services at 87,000, Roberts Roofing at 105,000, Gridiron Guys at 94,000 almost, 5K Commercial at 76,000, which was the low bidder, JB Roofing at 132, Tusing at 85,000, and FPS Roofing at 83,600.
It probably says it in here, but what was the estimate of what we thought it would cost?
90 something thousand, yeah. That was a good bid day for us.
Yeah.
For a relatively small roofing project.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
1 second. Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9D, tennis court repairs bid. Resolved to accept the lowest bid per the bid tabulation and bid evaluation as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I will bring this back up as well. We received 5 bids, and this was just on Monday. So you can see the Vasco was the low bidder at 302,199. Precision Engineering at 349,574. Protect a Coat at 386. Sona Construction at 380 and Geauga Highway at 475. This was on the high estimate of up to 411, I think. There was a range for this job to be done. This does not. Does it potentially include the base if necessary? It does, okay.
Recompact base. Fair drainage.
And we've done work with Vasco before. The latest project they were on was our track. In the same year that the tennis courts were built initially. So we are familiar with them. They are a very reputable company. Yes. Go ahead.
There'll also be our turf installers that install and Bill Turkey for an override company. The actual installer of the carpet themselves is the estimate.
Okay, so we'll be busy on campus this summer. And just speaking with Coach Reynolds today, the boys season, home match season will be over on the 12th of May. So we are able to, well, on the 11th of May, we'll actually be able to start construction or work as soon as the 12th, which every week and every day that we can get started sooner will only help us hopefully be done in time for the girls' season, which is the fall. But we'll have backup plans in case we run into weather or other concerns for their season.
Comments or questions?
I read up on Vasco. I mean, they have like a pretty extensive, resume when it comes to sports. So I was like, this is great that they were the lowest bidder.
Relationship.
Yeah, I mean, they've they said a very great reputation, but I read up on them a little bit.
There is an article
Great.
in Cleveland.com today about this situation as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara.
Yep.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 10, executive session 10A. Resolve that the Board of Education enter into executive session for the purpose indicated on the agenda, specifically under personnel matters, to consider the appointment and employment of a public employee or official. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Sorry.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, we'll be in executive session now. When we come out, we're just going to adjourn the meeting, so there won't be any other official business.
Kind of blanked.
Newsletters went to print on the 13th. So a week of production will be hitting the mailbox mid to late next week.
Usually get a text from the mail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he texted me a picture of it. He's like, look what I'm delivering.
Wait, is that insider information?
Yeah.
I have all of it there. And what is it about the mail?
Do you then bet on that in a prediction market?
Yeah.
And superintendent update, went out this evening during the meeting. So it's with all the wonderful updates you guys get.
We are live.
Okay, the Board of Education has returned from executive session at 7:46 PM. No formal action or voting took place during the executive session. Item
Go to, sorry.
Item 11, closing items, 11A, announcements. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for April 22nd, 2026 at 6 PM. This meeting will be held at the high school auditorium. As I would assume, we will have many people in attendance and we'll be congratulating many of our students. Item 11B, resolved to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, meeting is adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.